This is a video that I find truly important and need to convey to all of you, so that you can understand the danger of rabies and have appropriate prevention measures. Perhaps if someone gets bitten by a dog, the first thing you often hear is whether that dog has died or not and if there are any symptoms. If so, immediate vaccination is required. So why do dogs die after biting humans? Let's learn about rabies. Basically, rabies is simply caused by a virus called rabies. Just kidding, it's not actually called the rabies virus. People simply refer to it as the rabies virus. Maybe you don't need to know its scientific name, as it's not that important. It's like how you don't need to know the frequency of 5G for communication. You just need to know that a full HD movie can be downloaded in 10 seconds. In short, rabies is caused by a virus called the rabies virus. The most important thing to pay attention to is that rabies is extremely dangerous. Regarding its origin, in reality, it's only speculation. Where exactly the virus first emerged is hard to determine. However, it is believed to originate from animals and can spread through saliva. The most susceptible species to rabies and the one most likely to transmit it is the dog. Statistics show that there is a period during the year when dog bites and rabies infections are more common. That period is from May to August. Why is that? It's because this is the mating season for dogs. As you know, rabies can be transported through various means, including saliva, so during the mating season, dogs come into contact with each other more frequently. Moreover, dogs have the habit of licking everything they come into contact with. Increased contact and indiscriminate licking increase the likelihood of disease transmission. Therefore, during the dog mating season, they interact more with each other, leading to a higher risk of rabies transmission. Just like with COVID-19 in humans, when we have more interactions, the chances of spreading the disease are higher. Conversely, limiting contact can help control the disease. When a dog becomes infected with the virus from another dog, it exhibits two forms of symptoms. The first form is when the dog gets rabies in the dumb form. The dog becomes depressed, weak, and gradually becomes paralyzed before eventually dying. Fortunately, dogs infected with this form do not pose a risk to humans. The second form is the truly terrifying one, known as the furious form of rabies. Even pet dogs that we commonly raise can unfortunately contact this furious form of rabies. They may go from being friendly and cheerful to suddenly becoming abnormally irritable and exhibiting uncontrollable behavior. Even the slightest unusual sign can agitate them, or they can even leave their homes unexpectedly. Dogs with this furious form of rabies are prone to biting others irrationally. In the early signs of rabies infection, they become more agitated and sensitive as mentioned earlier. Later on, they progress to a more severe stage, which includes paralysis and death. That's why dogs often die after biting humans. It's not because they become poisonous and die after biting, it's because they have contracted rabies, which makes them aggressive and leads to biting humans. Simultaneously, rabies is responsible for their deaths. So it's important to pay attention to the signs and symptoms exhibited by the dog after biting a human. In order to take appropriate prevention measures, if the dog shows abnormal behavior or dies after biting, it may have rabies. In such cases, the bitten person should seek immediate medical attention to receive rabies vaccination and appropriate treatment. Basically, if you contract rabies, there's no chance for recovery, so prevention is key. Rabies has an almost 100% fatality rate. Therefore, instead of hoping for a cure, we should be cautious and take preventative measures by vaccinating both ourselves and our dogs. If your dog is lost, there is a risk that the owner may also be infected, especially if the dog regularly shows affection by hugging and licking. If unfortunately you are bitten by a dog, it's best to get a rabies shot immediately, without waiting for the dog to exhibit rabies symptoms, because by then it may be too late. In general, if a previously calm and friendly dog suddenly becomes aggressive and sensitive to even minor disturbances, you should be vigilant and not let the dog bite you. During the period from May to August, you should limit your dog's contact with other dogs, especially unfamiliar ones. I hope this video is helpful to you. Thank you for watching, goodbye, and see you again.